Hello again, YouTube. And in this video here, this is just a little update on my, my little pet project to see if, if I could run 120 volts, which is, 1100 watts down here to the lower element in my hot water heater. And, I had a video where it basically showed, during the day where I was, consuming 1100 watts in this particular lower heating element, and it was coming from my solar array. And I have a 3 kilowatt solar array. And so, I mean, it was not a problem at all. So what I wanted to do is just give a brief update on the status of my little experiment, and to kind of give a brief explanation as to why I did it. Because some people, they had the question of, wait a minute, you're grid tying, and so you're automatically sending power back to the grid. And, what's the purpose? I mean, it's obvious if you're sending, 3 kilowatts back to the grid, or 2,500 watts back to the grid, you're saving money. But yeah, that wasn't the point. The reason I did it was to show, to see if during a power outage, if I had I have an AC coupled system, that during a power outage, if I had enough sunlight, could I theoretically heat my hot water heater with just 120 volts, and 1100 watts, as opposed to, doing both of them together. And what I found out with my experiment is, yes, I could literally heat this hot water, this lower heating element during a power outage, okay, and heat this hot water tank up enough so that when I get up in the shower, I literally have to turn it down because it is that hot. So again, just imagine you're in an off-grid situation, right? You're in an off-grid situation, and you have a hot water tank with 2 heating elements, and you say, well, what can I do with this thing? So if you put 1100 watts for about 5 or 6 hours, what do you get? You get hot water. A 1100 watts, a very hot heating element at the bottom will heat this tank up. I mean, it heated it up to the point where literally, we have to turn on the cold water to kind of reduce the heat. It really does get hot. So in theory, if you had enough solar panels, maybe 3 or 4 kilowatts, and you had LEDs in your home, and you had really, efficient things in your house where you're not going to use up a lot of power during the day. So at night, I mean, you could potentially use your solar to heat up your hot water heater. I think it's been proven with Raj's, device that he sells on his website at techluck.com. He's proved it. It can be done, and I've proved it myself to where, I just tie directly in to, and I just, kind of just simply plug it in. It's turned off now. But that was the idea, to see if during an emergency situation where I had no grid power, could I potentially just simply use my solar array and heat up this hot water tank to at least a degree to where I can, me and my, my family could, take a shower comfortably, right? And the answer is yes. So, I mean, you have a lot of folks that, I've seen the videos where, the solar hot water heater, you have things that are on your roof, and that's all well and good. That is all well and good, but I believe that there are more efficient ways of doing it, and this is one of those efficient ways. Just simply, again, if you got enough solar panels on the roof, and during the day, obviously you don't need a whole bunch of lights or anything else like that. So a lot of that power would be simply going to waste if your batteries are already fully charged. So just simply plug in and let your inverter just send 1100 watts or whatever to your hot water heater. Again, this is, I am not running 240 down there, so I'm running just 120. So it does work, and it has been working well. I'm very happy with the results. Very happy with the results. But anyway, just an update and a further clarification on my experiment. Again, it's just, in the event of a power outage, will I be stressing over hot water if I have sunlight? No, I will not. So anyway, take care, YouTube, and I'll talk to you soon.